In 2002, I was a part of a ministry group that went to a small town in northern Ontario as like a mission trip. And one of the things that we did is we took a video camera and we walked the downtown streets and we asked people, who is Jesus? And we got a variety of responses. Some said he is Lord, he is God. Others said, well, he's just a person, a teacher that lived long ago. Others said he is a character in a made-up but elaborate story. One person thought we were talking about Jesus Christ Superstar, and so his response was, Jesus is the lead singer to Deep Purple. We got a variety of answers. But that question, who is Jesus, is perhaps the most important question that we can wrestle with as we grow in our faith, which is why Jesus asked the disciples, who do people say that the Son of Man is? And what are people around saying about me? Jesus is saying. And like the small town in northern Ontario, Jesus gets a variety of responses. The disciples say, well, some people think that you are Jeremiah or Elijah or another prophet. Others think that you are somehow the reincarnated presence of the previously beheaded John the Baptist. There's a lot of different responses. But when Jesus asked the question, he's not interested in kind of those interpretive responses, what people are thinking about him. No, Jesus is trying to elicit out of the disciples some sort of desire or response of faith, which is why Jesus follows up that question with, but you, who do you say that I am? And Peter responds. Peter jumps in and says, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. Now, a couple things that we need to know here is that those are not simple things to say. That word Christ is the Greek word referring to the Jewish concept of Messiah, the anointed one, the emissary of God who would come to Israel to restore and to redeem and to liberate. So it was a loaded term. It carried along all the Jewish expectation with it. And it was the person that people were longing for. And that Son of the living God, it referred to the concept of the Davidic king. That was then kind of connected to the Messiah. The Messiah would be this Davidic king who would come from divine origin, of whom God would say in the Psalms, you are my son, and I have become your father, which of course is said over Jesus, right, in the baptism and in the transfiguration. And so these are not simple things to say. And Jesus, as a faithful Jewish rabbi, would never take those terms upon himself. He would never take those titles upon himself as speaking about who he was, because to do so would be completely blasphemous and heretical, unless, of course, it was true. So he says to Simon Peter, blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, because flesh and blood did not reveal this to you, but my Father in heaven. See, ultimately, Jesus is who he is. Jesus is not who we think he is. And so the question isn't, well, who do I think Jesus is? No, the question is, am I receiving Jesus as he comes to me? See, that's what Simon Peter did. Simon Peter didn't just rationalize his way into understanding Jesus as the Messiah. He just didn't think, well, I think I'm going to decide that this is true. No, at some point, and it might have been at the baptism, it might have been at the transfiguration, it might have been at a miracle, who knows. But at some point, Peter responded to some sort of inner revelation that said to him, no, Jesus is the divine one who comes to restore and to heal and to redeem. See, ultimately, knowing Jesus in our lives, knowing Jesus more in our lives, isn't about understanding the terms. Christ, Son of God, Son of Man, and all this kind of stuff. No. Knowing Jesus is about inviting him in. It is about receiving Jesus as he comes to us and as he reveals himself to be. And that's what we try to do here at St. Paul's. Through our prayer, through our liturgy, through our talks, through the readings, through the singing, we all try to create this inner space where we are able to open up ourselves and receive the one who comes to forgive and to heal and to offer us love and grace. And if that's what you're looking for, then I want to invite you to come and join us here at St. Paul's. We have 2 services on a Sunday. We have one at 8 o'clock in our chapel, and we have one at 10 o'clock here in the sanctuary. If you can't make it out, or if you're outside of the Kamloops area, then please join us online. We live stream on our Facebook page at 10 o'clock. But wherever you are, and whatever you're going through this morning, may you know that Jesus is with you. May you know that he blesses you and that he surrounds you with his loving presence. Bless you all.